Good morning, children. Now, as I have given you the previous topic of this chapter number 2, now today I am going to start with the artificial reproduction, vegetative propagation. Artificial, as we know the meaning artificial. Artificial means that we are doing by our own. Okay, so as sugar cane, rose, China rose, lemon, if we want to grow such type of plants, what we do? We just cut the stem of those plants. As I have given you the example in the natural vegetative reproduction also, that we cut the stem of that plant. If you want to grow rose, ask your parents, okay, how they grow the rose. They just simply cut the stem in the slanting way. Slanting way means, suppose this is a stem, so they are going to cut that stem in a slanting way and then they put inside the soil. So that is cutting. We have taken we have done cutting in that plant. We have taken a small piece and then we have planted in a moist soil, and the plant is able to grow into a new plant. So that will be a cutting. So this is done by us. So that will be an artificial method. Now next is layering. Layering, as you can see in this picture as well as in this picture, grass, same way it grows, same way layering we do. What we do, this is a suppose the plant is growing, the stem is weak, it is coming down again and again. So what we do, we just take a stem and we just put inside the soil. So this simply a simple stem, it will grow and it will able to develop the roots. Then again one more branch we can put inside the soil. From all the sides we can put those stems inside the soil. So each stem is able to able to develop roots, and then a new plant will be developed. So that will be layering. What we have done, we have made the layers, first, second, third, we have laid the layers, and it is done by us. So that will be a process is called layering. Third is grafting. Grafting is very interesting process. What we do, the stem we take, stem of same plant we can take, the stem of different plants also we can take. So first we make a wedge, जो घर में हम लोग यूज करते हैं, कुछ हमें अगर लकड़ी को बीच में से तोड़ना हो, so we use wedge. Okay, so that will in this case it will be called as a cycon. Okay, so we take a stem and we give a shape like a cycon, like a wedge, and it will be called as a cycon. Now second will be a stem in which only we give the cut in the middle. Okay, that will be called as a stalk. Now what we are going to do, we are going to open the stalk and we are going to put the cycon inside the stalk. After that we will tie it with the thread or polythene or cloth, anything. After a few days, both the stem, they will attach together, and this stem is able to form a new plant. So what we have done, we have done grafting over here. We have grafted it and then we have placed it inside it. So that process is called as grafting, in which we have taken two stems. One we have given the shape of wedge, it is called as cycon. Another we have given the cut in between, it is called as a stalk, and we have fitted the cycon inside the stalk and we have tied up with the cloth, and after that it will be able to form a new plant. So that will be called as grafting. Next is very interesting, that is also micro propagation. Micro means small, propagation means the growth of anything. So it is also called as a tissue culture technique. We can ask you, micro propagation is also called as dash tissue culture technique. So tissue, what tissue we have to take in that? So what we are going to take, just like nearby rivers, algae are there, fungi are there. So in dirty waters they are present, but they are very helpful in the production of medicines. So if you want to grow that plants in our area just for medicinal use, so what we do, we just take a tissue, a small piece of that plant from that place. Okay, that will be called as a tissue. You can see here, it is here, we are going to put it inside the culture medium. So this will be a culture medium. Now what is that culture medium? First we have taken that nutrient medium. Okay, so when we have taken a nutrient medium, we have taken tissue from outside. That tissue we have washed with a sterilized solution to make it to prevent the microbial growth, क्योंकि हम लोगों ने उसको एक ऐसी जगह से लिया where there may be many microbes are there. So we have just taken it. After that we have washed it with a sterilized solution to prevent the microbial growth. After that, we have put the at that time when we are putting the tissue inside this medium, it is called as explant. We have sterilized it, we have put inside the culture medium. Inside the culture medium, we have given a particular nutrient medium according to the plant, as well as the growth hormones also we have given. You can see here we have given a particular nutrient medium as well as we have given the growth hormones. After that, it will grow into small plantlets. After some time, when it will grow, it will show different stem, leaves, roots, plantlets are there. So it can be taken out and now it can be put inside the soil. So what we have done, we have taken a tissue, we have cultured it, and then we have made a plant. So that is why it is called as a tissue culture technique. What is the benefit of that tissue culture technique? Now benefit is that it can be done in case of very superior qualities, very superior variety. And if the seed of that plant is dormant means not able to grow, in that case we can just simply take the tissue of that plant and we can culture it. Now there are some limitations also. If we want to do the tissue culture, so first we should be scientific expertise. How much how much sterilized solution we have to take, how much growth hormones we have to take. So it should be scientific expertise. It cannot be applied in all the cases. All the plants we can't grow by such method. And remote areas, especially in the villages, the people, they can't do such type of cultures. So these are the limitation of tissue culture. Now next is the sexual reproduction in plants. So as we know, children, flower is the very important part of the plant. It's because it contains both the organs, you can say both the parts. This stamen is the male part and this carpel is the female part of the flower. So these both parts are very important. Even the sepals, petals, every part of the plant has its own importance. So now first I will just tell you what is the structure of that flower. If single leaf, you can see here, and this greenish leaf, it is a sepal. And when many this type of green leaves are present, it will be called as calyx. So this is the outermost part of the flower. You can say this is the first hole of the flower. Just say flower band hai, so this will be a first hole. After that it will be opened. So that will be a first hole of the flower. So sepals are green in color, so they help in the photosynthesis also. Next is the colorful part you can see in the flower. These colorful parts are petals. So together they are called as corolla. Now corolla, it is the second inner hole. So it is, we will study later on that why this corolla, this calyx, the petals, they are colorful. They have use. That is why they are colorful, because they help in the process of pollination. So they are large in color, they have the fragrance in them, and they attract the insects also. Third is the androecium. Androecium means, as I have shown you, stamens. Stamen means the male part of this flower. It is also called as stamen. It is also called as androecium. Now stamen, it contains two parts. One is the anther and the second is the filament. So anther, it contains the pollen grains. On the anther, pollen grains are present. These are the powdery substance present on this anther. And this is a straw-like structure. This is a filament. So this is the third hole of the flower. Now the gynoecium. Gynoecium is it is also called as carpel, it is also called as pistil, it is also called as gynoecium. All the name are of same organ. Now it contains four main parts. First is the stigma, second is this pipe-like structure style, third is ovary, and then ovules. So these four parts together, they form a gynoecium. So this is the fourth hole of the flower. So if a flower contains both the parts, female also, male also, it is called as bisexual or hermaphrodite. If it contains only maybe the female part or maybe the male part, then it is called as a unisexual flower. Okay. Now what is the function of flower? As we know, children, flower contain carpel, flower contains stamens, flower contain petals, flower contains sepals. So all the parts of the flower are equally important. Now the first thing is pollination. Now pollination means, as I have told you, this flower, it contains this anthers contain this powdery substance. Now this powdery substance, it reaches to the stigma of the flower and then it goes inside the flower. So what is happening over here? In the same flower, the pollen grain, they are transferring in the same flower. So it will be a self-pollination. What is pollination? It is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of the flower. So this is pollination. So if it is occurring in the same flower, it is self-pollination. If it is occurring in the same plant, it is self-pollination. But if it is occurring in the different plants, it will be called as क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन. यू कैन सी इन दिस पिक्चर, सेम प्लांट में अगर वो हो रही है तो सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन, सेम फ्लावर में अगर वो हो रही है तो सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन, बट इट इज अकरिंग इन द डिफरेंट प्लांट्स, इट इज कॉल्ड एज क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन. सो इट कैन बी डन बाय insects. Insects, they come and they sit on the flower and the pollen grain, they get stuck with their body parts and then they go and then they sit on the other part of the flower and the pollen grain, they can transfer. So it can be done with the help of insects. Why the insects they come and sit on the flower? Because the flower are colorful. Flowers, they have the fragrance. Flowers, they have the juice inside them. So that is why the insects, they come and they sit on them. You can see in this picture also, honeybee is having all the pollen grains on the body. It will go now to the other flower and transfer the pollen grains. Same way, the wind, when the wind is blowing fast, it can also take the pollen grains along with it and it can transfer the pollen grains. So if the pollen grains are light in weight, they can move from one place to another. In case of wind pollination, the plants, they are producing the pollen grains in the large amount so that they can do the pollination, because whenever they are getting the proper place, proper stigma, then only they can pollinate the plant. Third is the water. As you can see in the picture, this is the female flower. Now male flower, they are floating on the surface of the water. So whenever it will get attached with the male flower, they are able to get the pollen grains. So when the plant is getting the pollen grain, what happens? You can see here, this is the carpel of the flower. Now inside the carpel, as I have told you, the pollen grain, they come and they reach on the stigma, then they form pollen grain. Pollen grain, they have come and they have reached the stigma. Now pollen grain, they will form a pollen tube inside the style. Then they form a pollen tube inside the ovary, they get fertilized. So one cell from the pollen grain, one cell already present inside the ovary, they will combine together and they will form 2n number. Same way, when the fertilization is occur, when there is 2n, so it will be called as zygote. It will be called as zygote. And the complete process in which the pollen, they are coming and they are sticking with the stigma, then they are forming a pollen tube and then they are reaching to the different parts of the to the ovary. That complete process is called as germination. But when the male gamete fuses with the female gamete, it is called as fertilization. Okay, so germination is there, fertilization is there. Now next is the artificial pollination. Artificial means when we do the pollination by our own, we help the plant to give the pollen grains. So we do in case of if we want to develop a good variety of plants. So especially the breeders who grows the plant, they transfer the pollen grain from one plant to another. So because of that, they get high yielding variety. Those are having high resistance disease. They are not able to catch the disease. So first they study what are the high yield varieties, how to make them disease free, and then they grow different type of plants. So that is a artificial pollination in which the transfer of pollen, it is done manually. So that is a artificial pollination. So this is all about the chapter, children. I will send you the question and answers. So please copy all the question and answers in your bio copy, and please make the notes whatever is given in your book in highlighted form. So make the notes on that of that topic. Okay, thank you, children.